Welcome back to the Six Hockey Studios. Jordan Jacklin joined alongside Jaden Hull as we tee up a pivotal Game 5 with this series tied at 2 between the Toronto Junior Canadiens and the Mississauga Senators. Whoever wins this is heading off to the GTHL Finals to face the Toronto Marlboros, who won earlier today. Jaden, what are you looking to see from both teams after a pivotal Game 4?
The Marlboros game is after this one.
Is it?
No. Of course, it all comes apart right at the end.
Yeah, let's finish it. Wait, so we're talking about Brady Krawchuk.
Krawchuk
and
each side.
sorry.
5 pre-games and 8 takes. This is take number 8.
Welcome back to the Six Hockey Studios. Jordan Jacklin joined alongside Jaden Hull as we tee up Game 5 of the second round playoff series between the Toronto Junior Canadiens and the Mississauga Senators. A pivotal Game 5 at that. The series tied at 2. Jaden, whoever wins this will punch their ticket into the GTHL final. Ultimately, what did you see from Game 4? Let's start with Toronto. It was the call-up Brady Krawchuk who made a name for himself, scoring a pivotal goal.
Well, Brady Krawchuk scored what ultimately ended up being the game winner, scoring the 3rd goal of the night for the Toronto Junior Canadiens. And he just did a great job in that game, being a good call-up. When you call up into a higher level, you need to make yourself known. You need to be physical. You need to go to the net. And that's what he did, and that's how he earned his goal in that game. He went to the net, he found a rebound, and he potted the game winner for these Toronto Junior Canadiens.
Now, in that Game 4, Toronto had taken a 3-0 lead. But it was Ethan Broussard in the sense who ultimately almost started the comeback there. They were able to make it 3-2. What did you like about Ethan Broussard in this game?
Well, Ethan Broussard is just such a good, smart player. He always seems to be in the right area of the ice. He's willing to go to the dirty areas. He's willing to go to the front of the net, and that's how he got his goal as well. And that's how playoff goals ultimately are going to happen. Getting to the net, finding a rebound, banging it home for these Mississauga Senators, and that's what Ethan Broussard has been doing all season and all series.
Well, that's it from the Six Hockey Studios as we get you sent to the Scotiabank Pond for warm-ups. You're looking at Scotiabank Pond ahead of Game 5 of this second round playoff series between the Toronto Junior Canadiens and Mississauga Senators. I'm Jordan Jacklin, joined alongside Jaden Hull. We're all tied up at 2, and the winner of this one will head to the GTHL final. In net for the Junior Canadiens, Alexander Armelin started in Game 4, gets a chance with Game 5 as he had a stellar performance. And for the Senators, they get goalie Jack Ivankovic back, replacing Jonathan Frateroli. We'll see how that does, but we're at center ice now, and the puck is dropped, and it's won back to Luca Graziano of Toronto. He'll dump it into the center ice. Battling for it there is Martelli, and he gets some assistance from Romano. Along the half wall now as they dig after it, it's sent along the boards. Trying to keep it in play there was Valeris, but Caden Taylor up the ice is just called for offside.
Well, it's a pretty tentative start here. Neither team has really gotten deep into the offensive zone yet, and that can be expected in a crucial Game 5. No one wants to be the one to make a mistake early in the first period, but Caden Taylor just getting a little bit antsy and stepping over the line just a half step ahead of the puck, and it's offside.
And it's won back again by Toronto. Graziano after it now in his own end. Trying to settle the puck down with his feet, and it'll pass the red line. Connors now to Trozo. Gabe Trozo will go after it, rather Ryder Graves, but another offside again. Some tight gaps controlled there by Luca Graziano, forcing the Senators offside.
Well, Ryder Graves has had a really solid series so far. You'll remember the big goal he scored back in Game 3 to give the Senators some insurance, and I'm sure they'll be looking for more of that from him in a crucial Game 5 here.
And the puck is dropped once again, and it's Mississauga winning it this time, and it's dumped in by Trozo. Sent along the boards now, Malkassian back with it. He'll try to chip it out, but it's held in by Muszynski. Willie Muszynski, far range shot, stopped by Alexander Armelin.
And there's the first test for Armelin as he stands tall and makes a pretty simple save, but he makes sure that he gets square. He swallows up the rebound, and there's no second chances for the Senators on that play.
It'll be Sean Costello taking the offensive zone face-off. as it is won back by Mississauga, but quickly taken away by Toronto as they try to exit the zone, and they do. It's an odd man rush now on the counterattack. Malkassian driving hard, but some great defense displayed by the Senators' blue line. Broussard now along the boards will set it up into the neutral zone. They play a bit of keep away, and the Junior Canadiens win it back. And both teams really having trouble sustaining possession for a long period of time early on. Off the pad of Ivan Kovic, but the Junior Canadiens get it back. Another odd angle shot from Romano, but Ivan Kovic denies him. Here, at the point was Harrison McLean back in the lineup. His shot was blocked in front. Mississauga now in transition. Trying to get to it there is Matthew Manza. Getting inside positioning on Valeris. He's able to win the battle. Getting some assistance from Dianov. Manza with a hard shift. Able to win it back. Maggioni there, back to Broussard. Finds Manza. As he'll turnstile around. With it there in the corner now. They try to feed it back to Dianov. Had a bit of an open lane, but just couldn't convert on the pass. Taken in hard there by Valeris as we see some substitutions on Mississauga's side. Caden Taylor on the ice. Long range shot, Muszynski! And the rebound goes just wide. Now Taylor goes after it. As it appears Toronto is able to send this puck into the neutral zone, and they'll send it on to Ivan Kovic, who plays it out. Luca Bonomo now with it in his own end. We'll send it up to Taylor. Taylor with a stretch pass. Breer long! Another stop by Armelin.
Well, it's a good heads-up play to get that stretch pass up the ice, and Breer long ends up in with a great chance on the left wing. But Armelin, again, just so good positionally. He makes himself look big, and he just swallows up the puck. Breer long was driving the net after the shot, looking for the rebound, but you're not going to find many of those with Armelin in goal.
And they'll draw an offensive zone face-off. Valentini there, as we'll see Toronto player get waved off. And Valentini's able to get to it, but Jake O'Brien got to it first, showcasing his forechecking abilities. O'Brien trying to cut to the middle was turned aside by the Mississauga Senators. Valentini will go in hard and wins the foot race, trying to regain puck possession. This time, though, it's Toronto now in the neutral zone. Unable to get it through as Mississauga gets to it. Out to play it there, Armelin with Taylor on him. Look out, but as we know with these Armelin twins, they love to play the puck. Graziano now will speed through the red line. Taking it in himself, will send it along the boards, but gets it back, keeps it onside. Far range shot, missing the net on that attempt, but an odd ankle shot on the left flank, just off the pad of Ivan Kovic, and now then we're back the other way. Costello going after it with Broussard entering the ice. Broussard will throw it on goal, but nobody in front of the net to cause some traffic. Loose in front, Costello all alone, but nobody was there. And it was another stop made by Alex Armelin.
Well, the Senators continuing to pour the pressure on here on these Junior Canadiens. They've done a great job of that so far in this game, and Armelin has been a really important part of this Junior Canadiens defense in this game so far, and he'll need to continue to be based on how this game has gone.
Here's Costello going after it. Traffic in front of the goal, and Armelin comes up big again.
The Junior Canadiens really need to get the puck out of their zone here and try to play a little bit in the Sens zone, because they're in some really big trouble right now with the way the Senators are playing. They're getting pucks to the net. They're forcing Armelin to make saves, and he's been great, but sooner or later, if they keep playing like this, they'll crack him.
It's Mississauga winning the draw again, but it's Toronto on the counterattack. Malkassian going in hard on Muszynski. Look out! He goes down hard, but gets back up. Was Muszynski. As we'll have a whistle blown. And we see some talking once again, which has been a theme in this series.
Well, yeah, the chippiness in this series has just seemed to increase game after game, as pushing and shoving ensuing there, and I think it's going to be a penalty against Toronto as we await the final decision. But and now, yes, it does appear the Senators are about to go to the power play. So we've talked about special teams at length so far in this series. It's going to be crucial again here for the Senators if they want to take an early lead as Malkassian goes off.
A strong start rewarded for these Mississauga Senators now sees them on the main advantage. as it's won back by Broussard. Connors there will walk the blue line, surveying his options. Jaden Connors back over to Caden Taylor, had to pick it up on his backhand, but Connors gets it back over to Valentini with a far-range shot through traffic. Another chance as that one just went up and out of play.
Well, some decent puck movement and good body movement as well by the Senators on this power play. They're switching spots, especially up at the blue line, trying to spread these defenders out to open up lanes. So keep an eye out for that. And for the Junior Canadiens, you just need to be careful about where you're going on the ice and staying in those lanes.
Breer Lung was tied up at the face-off dot, and it's brought all the way out. So Ivan Kovic will come out to play it, leave it for his defenseman and Connors as they look to transport it up the ice. And it's a cross-ice feed over to Valentini. He'll drop it back now for Manza, who sends it back over to Valentini. Connors is a open shot threat, but Toronto really pressuring hard, but look out. And a nice deflection of the stick there by the Toronto defenseman as Connors was wide open. But the puck was played out by Ivan Kovic. So Toronto, or rather Mississauga, is on the counterattack. Trying to get to it along the boards, but it'll be brought back out once again, and the penalty kill looking strong for the Junior Canadiens, Jaden.
Well, yeah, they're just being aggressive in their own zone. They're stealing pucks, and they're getting the quick clears, and the Senators need to be a little bit more careful. They're a little bit more cautious with the moves they're making with the puck to try and maintain possession and get set up here.
Broussard will tangle him along the boards as it's brought back out. Valentini with it, trying to send it through in front of the net. Taylor just couldn't receive that pass cleanly. And here's Trozo with it. Gabe Trozo takes a shot on goal, redirected in front. Taylor can't get it through. Another chance just goes wide. Here's Valentini now. We'll send that back over to Costello. Over to Valentini. Finds Taylor. Back over to Valentini. Far range shot through traffic. Rebound. And our melon comes up big again as it goes down the ice. And Toronto trying to clear it. Martel with it. And this time it goes past the red line. Players looking to get change. And finally, we'll see some new bodies on the ice. A potential shorthanded chance, but Mississauga avoids danger in that sequence as we're back at 5-on-5. And some players going down on the ice in the neutral zone as it's in Toronto's end. In the corner now, Dianov's after it. And Graves pinching in. Here are the Junior Canadiens now on the counterattack, trying to establish some good 5-on-5 play and generating shot attempts.
Well, it was a good penalty kill for the Junior Canadiens, but now they need to try and build off of it, get some momentum, and continue that play at 5-on-5 so you can try and sustain some offensive zone pressure and start to challenge Ivan Kovic a little more.
Down low, they battle away for it as it glides into the corner now. 4 players battling for it, and this time it's Malkassian getting to it. Some nifty work there. The gain was Javi and Ney, and they get the entry. With the shot there, Hongyu Wang unable to get to it, trying to feed it back to O'Brien, but here's O'Brien, quick shot! And it goes off the pad of Ivan Kovic all the way down, but it's Levine holding the blue line. Down low with it, trying to get to it there now. It's brought back to Michael Levine. Levine, far range shot! And it's gloved down by Ivan Kovic.
Well, just like we said there, the Junior Canadiens starting to test Ivan Kovic a little bit more. They need to challenge him a little bit. Early in this game especially, I think he's coming off a few games off here. And if they can try and get to him early, they might be able to shake his confidence. But that's a really solid goaltender in there, and it's going to be a challenge for the Junior Canadiens.
Here's Romano on the face-off dot, trying to win that back, but it's Mississauga with it, though. Toronto getting the puck retrieval back, but it's Mississauga now. With it is Maggiani sitting that in. Costello couldn't get the shot through, but they maintain pressure down low, and Toronto's able to escape that sequence. It looked like Costello had an open shooting lane. And here's Valeris now with it. Cross-ice feed! And Ivan Kovic comes up big again.
Well, that's a really solid stop from Ivan Kovic. Just a great read of that play, and he's able to get across well in time. He's square to the shot, square to the shooter, and he makes the save, and he just swallows up the rebound as well.
And we're starting to see some rush chances for Toronto as we see a line change, and it's going to be a power play opportunity for these Toronto Junior Canadiens. So Mississauga got the first one, and now it's going to be Toronto with the second chance, and we know how deadly their power play has been thus far, Jaden.
Yeah, as Sean Costello goes to the box, this is a great opportunity for Mississauga, for Toronto. That is the official just signaled a 4 to the scorekeeper, so this is going to be a double minor, I believe, against Sean Costello. And this is a Junior Canadiens power play that has been deadly in this series. You think back to Game 2, that 8-2 victory where they were 6 for 6 on the man advantage. They're going to want to continue that trend here.
And they win it back over to Jake O'Brien, the nifty shooter, over to Graziano. They'll play it slow to start off, just trying to get some passes through. Here's Romano with it back to Graziano. Graziano feeds it over. Cross-ice feed, just failing to convert on a pass to O'Brien as he's taken into the boards. Helping him out, though, is Yanni. Chase Yanni back over to O'Brien, trying to feed that through to Romano as they make one too many passes. O'Brien there will find Romano with it. Romano trying to feed that through the middle of the ice, and the Senators are able to get to it first and weren't able to clear the zone, but they'll send it back, and this time they'll clear it and avoid danger thus far. And as we see some tired penalty killers get off, Matthew Manza among the new recruits on the ice. Graziano with a burst of speed through the middle of the zone. Malcassian will battle away for it, getting hounded down by Jaden Connors, but it's brought back in. Graziano can't hold the blue line, as they'll need to get another entry. And look at Luca Graziano going down on his knees, but it's Romano trying to get to it as they'll reset formation. It's O'Brien leading the charge as he surveys his options. Far-range shot from Luca Romano is denied by Ivan Kovic. And here is Graziano back to Romano. Romano will cut in to Graziano. Graziano with the shot! Unable to get that through. Another chance! As we have some open lane. Here is Luca Romano with it back over. Here's a shot. Yanni scores! Chase Yanni has the icebreaker in Game 5.
Well, the power play has struck again for the Toronto Junior Canadiens, and Chase Yanni, he had a hat trick earlier in this series. He stays hot. Just a beautiful shot and great puck movement as well from the Junior Canadiens. They get the setup that they want, and Chase Yanni with the long shot through traffic, it finds its way home. And the Junior Canadiens still have 2 minutes of advantage.
And it's Valeris with it now. And certainly if they could get a second goal, that would bring a lot of momentum on their side. It's a far range pass there with players trailing towards the net. Trying to get to it though, Valentini is able to clear the zone. Just past the red line, it's Hong Yu Wang, known for his transition abilities. It's being challenged hard there, but he'll go for a skate now up the ice. Here's Hong Yu Wang driving hard to the net! Wasn't able to get a shot through, but he maintained possession. Yu Wang surveying his options now as he'll cut back, showcasing his skating ability. Hong Yu Wang with the shot was blocked in front. And it's Yu Wang with it again. He'll send it back there. Shot threat to Valeris. Here is Yu Wang. Another chance. And the puck just trailing towards the blue line. Here's Valeris. Valeris will cut to his backhand, back over to Wang. Wang will send a pass just too far. Valeris in a foot race with it. Look out as it goes down once again, and the tired penalty killers will exit the ice. Just 40 seconds remaining on the man advantage now for Toronto. Trying to get up the ice. Romano taken down. But there will be no call in the play. It was deemed a legal stick check. And one last chance now for the Junior Canadiens. With it, there is Romano. Romano will send that in to Graziano. Graziano with the shot through traffic. Off the blocker of Ivan Kovic and out. And that will just about do it. Graziano in his own end gets some assistance from Ormelin. And for the Mississauga Senators, they have to feel good about just at least only surrendering the one goal and not two, Jaden.
Well, with how good the Junior Canadiens power play has been, allowing only one of the double minor it's something at least for these Senators, and now they need to try and build and and maybe get one back before the end of this period.
Here's Graziano feeding that through the middle of the ice, but it's taken away at the red line. The puck is sent along the boards now as Valeris retrieves it. Trying to send that through, though. The shot comes for Bonomo. Unable to hit the net on that attempt. Levine back defensively, but Bonomo again with another shot attempt. It's Rafektianov now going after it. But this time Toronto's able to clear the zone. With the burst of speed, it's Luca Romano trying to cut through, but Bonomo with some good work closing the gaps. Martel will send it into the corner, as he has some assistance there from Ginman. Trying to send that through now. It's Levine with a far range shot. Unable to hit the net. Another chance. But this time it's guided into the corner again. Here's Ethan Armstrong with it. Ethan Armstrong, nifty move. Armstrong! And it just goes off the shoulder of Ivan Kopic and out, but number 88, Ethan Armstrong, showcasing some of his puck handling abilities.
Oh, what a move there from Armstrong. He gets around the defender and he finds an open look for himself. Just makes something out of nothing there. And it's a big save from Ivan Kopic. The Senators just trying to survive here. The junior Canadiens clearly coming on late in this first period. And Ethan Armstrong will stay out there after the icing call. 2:10 to go now.
It will be Valeris and Armstrong for this Toronto back end. As O'Brien loses the face-off as the puck goes along the boards. Breer along trying to clear the zone, but unable to do so off the pressure from O'Brien. O'Brien tried to send that back to Wang, and he'll dump it into the corner once again. Going after it there in the corner now, it's sent back. Trying to keep it in play, and they do. This time it's Wang now. Trying to feed that up to O'Brien, but just too far. But it's Ethan Armstrong once again, forcing it in the offensive zone, as we'll see some substitutions on both sides. Less than 1:30 to play in this opening period of Game 5. The puck is down low now as they go after it. Here is Graves with the shot. Score! Ryder Graves has done it again!
Well, Ryder Graves again just finding a way to get one through from the point. I don't think anyone got a sticker on that one. It beats Armelin clean. The puck just comes loose, and Ryder Graves, finding himself with open ice to work with, fires it home through the traffic, and has tied the game here for Mississauga. Another big goal for Graves. And now a minute 23 to go here. It's a 1-1 hockey game.
And that just seems to be Ryder Graves' specialty. Just pickpocketing those loose pucks and really winding up for a solid wrist shot and just finding those open seams. And he does it there once again when his team really needed it. Out to play it now is Ivan Kovic. Had to be careful on that attempt, but Toronto does maintain the offensive zone. Sending it along the boards, Marcassine's after it as it goes up and out of play.
That puck glanced off the glass in the corner, so this will not be a penalty against the Senators for that clear, but this will come all the way back into their zone. And for the junior Canadiens, you had the lead, you lost the lead, and now you really want to get it back before the end of this period. You want to shift the momentum of this game back in your favor. At the very least, they want a good shift to close it out.
And here is taking away a big hit, though, off the back of the Toronto player as the physicality ramps up. Just past the red line now, going after it, Malkassian in pursuit with Romano assisting them. Having some difficulty there, but they're able to regain possession is Mississauga. Out of their own end now, they'll try to generate one more chance. Broussard after Graziano there as it's brought back in. Costello couldn't take away that passing lane, but they do maintain offensive zone pressure. Another chance! And winding up for that shot was Broussard, just missing the net on that one. It's Trozo holding the blue line, but it's brought back to the corner. Levine after it. With just 5 seconds left to go. As we'll see another substitution made, and that will do it. After 15 minutes of action, we are even at that 1 for Game 5 at Scotiabank Pond.
Well, it's been a pretty solid, even period here. Good back and forth action. Both teams getting one in that first period, and it's the junior Canadiens power play striking again here. So we talked about discipline for these Mississauga Senators. That's going to be crucial for the rest of this game as they try and punch their ticket to the GTHL finals. And I think both goaltenders definitely standouts in that first period. Ivan Kovic and Armelin both coming up with some huge stops at big moments in that first period, and I'm sure they'll be relied upon to do so again with the offensive talent that's on both of these sides. Caden Taylor, Adam Valentini, Trozo, Graves, and Long going to be out there to start the second period. It's Yanni, O'Brien, Wang up front for the Junior Canadiens as we are set for second period action.
And that we are underway. At Scotiabank Pond once again, it's one back to Connors. Trying to clear the zone. Another big collision at the neutral ice. O'Brien taken down. But they get the puck back, going after it once again. It's stripped off by Ryder Graves. Transporting it out now. They try to send a cross-ice pass through. Broussard over to Costello. Off the pad of Armelin, and it's brought back out. Players down on the ice. Trozo now on his own end. Just trying to settle it down, but taking it hard there by O'Brien. Had to make a quick play. It's a 2-on-1. The other way. What a move. What a save. Oh, did you see that? Alex Armelin.
Wow, just a great move, busting in along that left wing, but it's a better save. Just a quick reflex glove stop from Armelin. Again, it comes down to his positioning. He's so good at being in the right spot in the net and making players shoot it at him. And he does just that there on a glorious opportunity, and the Senators are going to want that one back.
It'll be an offensive zone face-off for Mississauga. Sending it in along the boards, it's Jaden Connors, far-range shot. Just trickling in down low. Able to regain possession as the Junior Canadiens. As they send it up the ice, it's Wyatt Ginman with it, cutting to the middle. Ginman with the shot! And just millimeters off from the post, as that was a grade A chance. Generated by the speed of 77. Going after it now in the corners. Some physicality being displayed. Some shoving post whistle. Look out. Certainly some calls to be made, Jaden.
Well, yeah, looks like they're going to see at least one go to the penalty box here, as it looks like there was a penalty upcoming on the play, I believe, against the Senators, but we'll keep an eye on it here, as there doesn't appear to be anyone going to the box for Mississauga, so we will stay at 5-on-5 despite the brief bout of violence.
And the puck is set in along the boards now, and it's retrieved by Mississauga. And it trickles all the way down through. It's Romano back defensively, feeding it over to Valeris. Xander Valeris will take it in himself, and look at Valeris go. We've seen the foot speed of number 23 on display in this series. They'll be trying the entry now as they send it back in. Getting to it there is Mississauga. Trozo will transport it out. Ryan Days at an open lane, and here he is, but was just too far as it's offside.
Well, now things are getting chippy again here, but I think that ultimately is going to come to the benefit of the Junior Canadiens with their lethal power play. So the Senators need to be careful with what they're doing in those scrums. Just, you can go up to the line, just try not to cross it, I think, and that's what it comes down to often in these playoffs. Is the face-off will come outside the send zone.
Here is Trozo with it now. Will dump it in along the boards. First to it is Graziano. Bounced over his stick, and the Sens are able to retrieve it. As they circle it in now, it's Graves with another long-range shot. Just couldn't get through traffic. Another chance! Just over the shoulder of Armelin and out, and we'll get to it there. Here's Bonomo. Luca Bonomo will just dump it past the red line, and appears there will be an icing called on the play.
Well, now a chance for the Junior Canadiens here to get some offensive zone pressure. A couple minutes gone in this middle frame, and they'll be looking to put pressure here on Ivan Kovic again. Try and see if they can get one through him early in this second period. Try and set the tone for the rest of this game here.
And on the ice, it is the O'Brien line with Wang and Yanni.
Well, Yanni has the goal so far in this game. He'll be looking to double down, and we know O'Brien is always dangerous.
And they maintain the offensive zone as they battle away for it. This time it's Mississauga retrieving it, trying to get it through. It's a foot race. Armelin out to play it. Graziano had to be careful, but he'll set it in for Yanni. And it's the Senators' relentlessness on display once again, trying to get it through, but it's Mississauga forcing a dump out, and it's not enough for icing, so they'll have to play it up the ice. Getting to it there now, trying to feed it over to Costello as Levine's first to it. An awkward bounce there on the breakout attempt, but it is the Junior Canadiens with it. Now here's Jake O'Brien with a burst of speed. And Jaden Connors wouldn't allow him to get the shot, and he takes him down in the process. After it there in the corner. McLean an option, and he receives it. Trying to pass attempt by Graziano. Just unable to get through, and it's Matthew Manza. Matthew Manza going hard to the net. As it's Broussard now throwing it on goal once again. And coming out to make the stop is Armelin.
Well, it's a heads-up play from Armelin. That puck wasn't going on net, but there was a Senator waiting on the back door, so he just steps out of his net a little bit, gets a pad on it, and hangs on with 11:29 to go in this middle frame, and the goaltending really starting to show its importance in this game right now. Ivan Kovic on Armelin in a great duel.
The puck is won back by the Senators. Trying to get a chip shot on goal there as Romano's back defensively. Trying to get it out. It is Romano getting to it as they send it up the ice, and potential breakaway opportunity for Malkassian denied, and he takes out a set in the process, and the whistle blows.
Well, Malkassian going down into the corner there took down one of the Mississauga Senators, and that's a penalty about 200 feet from his net. Not a ideal moment to be taking that call, and now the Senators have a chance to take their first lead of this game with the man advantage.
And it will be Mississauga getting this power play chance. Kane Taylor has had a quiet series relative to his standards. We'll see if he can step up. We'll see if it's another one waiting to strike. Quick shot, Taylor! Rebound chance! And Breer Lung couldn't get to it, but they set up formation. With it, there is Manza back to Taylor, trying to set it on goal! And coming at the play to make the save was Alex Armelin.
Well, it looks like the Senators' game plan right now is to find Caden Taylor and feed him the puck. He gets 2 shots within the first 13 seconds of this man advantage. Nothing able to get past Armelin yet, though, as Junior Canadiens will change here, and we'll see if there's any change of approach from the Sens.
And winning that face-off, trying to send that back on the tie-up. Trying to get to it, and it is the Sens retrieving. Here is Trozo now, back to Valentini. Valentini over to Trozo. Trozo will put it on goal. Rebound chance in front! Going after it, still it's loose! And they just are able to maintain the offensive zone as Trozo. Trozo will jump it in, taken down in the process by 2 players. Here's Broussard with it. Back out for Valentini. Scores! It's Adam Valentini! And the Sens take the lead!
And just like that, special teams again proving crucial here. Adam Valentini finds the loose puck in the slot, and he wires it top shelf past Alexander Armelin to give the Sens the lead here. And it just comes off a little bit of a broken play. A player goes down in the corner, and the puck just squirts free, and the Junior Canadiens aren't able to adjust quick enough. And it's 2-1 now, Mississauga.
And it will be played back out by Armelin. Valeris now in his own end will send it up the ice. It's Romano in transition as Javi and Nate going hard to the net as they go after it. And here are the Senators now just past the red line as they're into the corner now, trying to capitalize on this momentum or perhaps take a 2-goal lead. But Toronto will not make that easy for them now as they send it up the ice once again. Here on a foot's dropped off to Romano. Romano in the corner there being pinched by Ryder Graves, the goal scorer. Valeris maintains the offensive zone. Still past the blue line and goes out, and it's picked up by Caden Taylor. Taylor will send a stretch pass up front. Rebound chance. Jaden Connors on it. Everyone's down. But the puck is played along the boards. Another big stop by Alex Armelin, Jaden.
Well, Armelin has been so solid for the junior Canadiens, and he's going to need to be here. If the Sens are able to take a 2-goal lead, that might be a very difficult one to overcome here for the junior Canadiens. So Armelin's going to need to be really just about perfect for the rest of this game.
In the corner now, Sens taken down, but no penalty on the play. Along the left flank now to take a shot on goal. We've seen Breer Lung score in that area before, but this time it's just too far. Junior Canadiens will just dump it out, and it's really seeming like the Sens are taking advantage of 5-on-5. Valentini on the delayed offside had to get back. Far range pass the other way will be called for icing as Mississauga takes charge.
Well, yeah, Mississauga really using the momentum from that goal here to put the pressure on the junior Canadiens at 5-on-5. And if they keep pushing like this, they're going to be able to continue to wear down these Toronto defenders. Hope maybe they can draw another penalty here, get their power play going again. And for the junior Canadiens, you need to try and flip the switch again here and get back to how you're playing earlier in this game.
Winded up by Muszynski, just going off the pad of Armelin. In the corner now, it's O'Brien going after it there, back defensively. Through the red line now with a burst of speed, it's O'Brien trying to do it all himself. Bonomo will just send it in along the boards. But it's kept in by Toronto. Trying to put it on goal, had to look out. It's a 2-on-1 the other way with a burst of speed! And just couldn't maintain possession on that attempt, as it was Luca Bonomo, the defenseman, going up on the breakaway as the whistle blows. And some upset players on the ice.
There's a penalty coming here. It looks like it's going to be against the junior Canadiens, but what a rush from Bonomo, just flying to the net. And couldn't quite tap that in on his backhand. He had Armelin down, but the puck just got away from him. And now a chance for the Sens power play to try and get going again. They have that go-ahead goal on the man advantage, and they're going to look to replicate that. Valentini, the goal scorer, is out there on the ice as Levine heads to the box for Mississauga.
And it will be another man advantage, as you said, starting with Breer Lung on the face-off dot. It's Romano winning it back, and Trozo maintains the blue line, though he was challenged by Malkassian, who gets it out. Having to be careful with Romano challenging him. Gets some assistance from Valentini. As Manta's after it, but a great start to the PK led by Luca Romano.
Well, it's a good start to the PK here. The junior Canadiens being aggressive, not giving the Senators time and space to work with, and they're disrupting plays by just being all up in the Senators and trying to force them to make quick mistakes.
In the neutral zone now, the Sens still trying to set up in formation. Valentini with a stretch pass just over the stick of Long. Couldn't settle it down, but it's kept in play. Into the corner with it, there is Long. After it is Connors. Holds the blue line. Here's Jaden Connors with it now with a far-range shot. Glove down by Armelin.
Good stop there by Armelin. He finds it through the traffic, and for the Senators, you get another chance at an offensive zone face-off here on the power play. They struggled to get the setup so far, and so a face-off win here would be very beneficial for them.
As we see a substitution on both sides, it'll be Sean Costello taking the face-off. Weighing that in along the boards now. Graziano first to it, and it's kept in play by Taylor, but just hopped over his stick, so he's out there being challenged by O'Brien. Star-on-star action, as it was an offside called against the Senators.
So now the Senators, they haven't had quite the synergy that they had in that first power play opportunity. So 51 seconds now for them to try and right the ship. And if you're not going to get a goal here on this man advantage, you need to try and build momentum, as a good penalty kill for the junior Canadiens could turn the tides of this game if we are into the second half of this period.
And along the boards there is Valentini. Was pinched along, and it's Connors now going out to retrieve it again. as a whistle's blown after the play.
And it's a tripping call here. It's against the Senators. So we're going to get 36 seconds of 5-on-4 action before the Junior Canadiens go to another power play. As it's Ethan Broussard heading to the box here for Mississauga. Whatever. Okay.
And here is Luca Romano now. We'll take the offensive zone face-off. And we're underway once again from Scotiabank Pond. It's Armstrong sending that over to Graziano. On his offside, it's Graziano making some moves as he heads in down low. Sending that back to Romano. Romano with some crossovers there. He's sending that in front! Malkassian mustered up a good shot, but just went off the pad of Ivan Kovic. Trying to get that back now to Sens do. As they send it up to Manza. Had to make a quick play, and it's retreat by Graziano. Armstrong over to Graziano, back to Romano. Here's Romano with a burst of speed. Couldn't get through the zone, and it's sent all the way down the opposite end of the ice. Out to play it there was Armelin, and the Junior Canadiens are on the power play now for the next 70 seconds. Through the blue line with it. We'll see some substitutions made on the fly as Armstrong goes off. Yanni out there. Look out! Ivan Kovic out to play it. And luckily, it goes just past the red line and out as Ivan Kovic really made sure he had enough to muster that along the boards to get it into the neutral zone. And then their own end now, it's Toronto trying to gain formation with some difficulty thus far. But they'll attempt it here. Here's Romano with it now. As he heads down low, saying it along the boards. Nobody there, but it's Graziano able to get back, but it appears offside will be called.
Yeah, just unable to hold the line there is Graziano, and it's been a good work from the Senators so far on this penalty kill. They haven't let the Junior Canadiens get a solid setup or get good chances on net, keeping play in the neutral zone and in the Junior Canadiens' ends, and now they've only got 29 seconds left to kill off on the Broussard tripping minor.
5 minutes remaining in the second period. As it's won back by the Senators, and they'll clear the zone once again. As it's chasing, or rather Xander Valeris back defensively, below the gold line. Valeris will begin transporting the puck as it's brought back out, cleared, and dumped in by Martel, but sent back in. Valeris with it, back over to Martel. Hector Martel now. We'll send it through, and we are back to 5-on-5. Settling down that puck was Dianop, but here's O'Brien with it. Leading the rush, Jake O'Brien back over. Martel! Tried one too many passes, just couldn't connect on that one. Back the other way is Mississauga, but it's picked off. Valeris once again, a long shift for him. As Wayne goes after it. And into the corner there is Yanni. And he tried to get it through. O'Brien, open shooting lane, just couldn't settle it down into the 2-on-1. Matthew Manzo! And he just missed a shot on that attempt as he had an open look. As it goes in along the boards now, long after it. Trying to feed it back to Manza. It's Toronto on it first now as they head past the red line. Here is O'Brien. O'Brien taken in hard. As Valeris jumped up into the rush. Still on the ice, number 23, Xander Valeris. Ethan Armstrong couldn't quite settle it down himself. Here's Mississauga trying to do some nifty puck handling was Valentini. An attempt to get past Levine, but was unable to do so. With it now as they send it in. And it's kept in play though. Quick shot, Armstrong! Loose in front of the net! And it's Ivan Kovic scrambling in front, makes the save.
Another good stop from Ivan Kovic. He hasn't been too busy the last few minutes, so it's important to stay sharp, and he does just that there. Good read and good puck tracking to find that shot before it gets to him and swallow up the rebound. But 3:05 to go here as the Sens try and take this lead into the dressing room.
And Toronto trying to do the opposite as they're in the offensive zone. Romano trying to win that back as Malkassian was in a shooting position, but just unable to hold on to it. In their own end, now it's Levine banking it along the boards. And no icing on the play. Here's Connors now. Jaden Connors in his own end will stop back and start the breakout. A long stretch past the other way. Armstrong had to get back, and he does, showcasing some of his work in transition. In the offensive zone, now it's Malcassian chipping at it. This time it's one back there. As it's an odd angle shot as the rebound deflects down low. As they go after it now, it's Mississauga in transition. Here's Breer Long. Long will try to put it on goal, but it just banks out, and Taylor gets to it first. And it's brought back the other way now. In the red line, it's Mississauga again! Going down hard, Taylor! Wondering where the call is, but none will be coming. Yanni open now as the puck goes down the other way. As the Sens continue on the counter-attack. Here is Trozo now. Trozo will send that up the ice. Another collision there as physicality continuing to elevate. Here is Wang in front. Unable to convert it on a pass. But it's brought back out. Another chance, McLean over to Graziano. Loose in front. And it's another save made by Ivankovic.
Well, another save by Ivankovic, and he does such a good job finding that puck through all the traffic. It's chaos in front of him as that shot comes in from the point, but he reads the play well. He makes the save, and he stays calm in his crease. Even when he does lose sight of the puck, he doesn't panic, and he's able to keep this a one-goal Sens lead.
1:31 remain in the second period at Scotiabank Pond of Game 5. And it's the Senators now. Trying to cut through the middle there was Long, but was taken aside there by Graziano. Really showcasing how effective number 7 is in all three zones. Wayne going after it now. Graziano, long-range shot is denied by Ivankovic.
Well, the junior Canadiens starting to put a little bit more pressure here on the Senators' defense in the final couple of minutes of this second period as they try and just build some momentum to go into that third period. They would love to get the game tied before that point, but if they don't, to be able to build that momentum and have something to carry over into the third is going to be really important here for Toronto.
And along the boards it goes as Toronto maintains offensive zone pressure. Another chance. Graziano loose in front. Romano pokes at it. Down is Ivankovic, and he makes the stop again.
Well, more pressure here from the Canadiens, and they're doing a good job of crowding the crease and trying to get in the lanes and get in the vision of Ivankovic here. But he's been so good at tracking the puck and finding it through those screens. And the junior Canadiens, that's just a really tough nut to crack for the rest of this game.
It's pretty clear if Graziano has the puck on his stick in the offensive zone, he's looking to shoot it, and has done so 3 times in just that latest sequence. As they'll have another face-off attempt. And they win it back. It's Moreno again. Shot Graziano! As it was blocked in front by Connors. Back the other way is Mississauga. Here is Broussard putting it on goal. Glove down by Armelin.
Another good stop there from Armelin, and now it's his turn to be a little bit cold. Hasn't had to make too many saves in the past few minutes, but he's sharp there to make the glove stop on that rush up the wing. And for the Senators now, you get the offensive zone face-off, and to try to turn the tides of this game late in the third period, or in the second period, sorry, and carry momentum into the third would be important for them just as much as it is for the junior Canadiens.
It's Graziano sending that over to Malcassian trying to get to it, but Mississauga was able to retrieve. Just past the red line now with it is Ryder Graves sending it in. Was being challenged by Martel. Graziano below the goal line will send that up. It's a cross-ice feed just denied once again. Mississauga really breaking up those passing lanes of the Toronto Junior Canadiens.
Well, particularly in the neutral zone like that one, they're just so good at getting in the lanes, getting a good stick in the way, and forcing the junior Canadiens to rethink their options. As we have a face-off to come outside the junior Canadian zone, 24.4 to go here. And for the junior Canadiens, you want to get the puck up the ice as quickly as you can and get things set up to try and tie this game before the end of the second.
for the Sens. They want to do the same, especially being a bit closer just outside the offensive blue line. The puck is won back as they scramble forward, and it's Toronto getting possession. Down the ice, 2-on-1! Stopped by Ivankovic, another chance! They're after it again, and what a save by 72! Down the ice, it's Mississauga sending it into the corner! As McLean gets to it, and that will do it. What a stop! Jack Ivankovic ends the period on a good note as the Mississauga Senators lead 2-1 over the Toronto Junior Canadiens.
And what a period that was, and what a stop at the end, as you said, by Ivankovic. A couple of them actually on that chance to keep this a one-goal game. So the Senators may be feeling a little bit lucky to be carrying this lead into the third. You can see them all thank their goaltender there. And for the Junior Canadiens, they need to pull off the comeback in 15 minutes or their season will come to an end.
Well, make sure to stay tuned for third period action. These are the moments to watch. From Game 5, it's Jordan Jacklin joined alongside Jaden Hull. And once again, stay tuned for GTHL hockey in the 6. Welcome back to third period action as we get set for the opening faceoff. Mississauga Senators leading 2-1 over the Toronto Junior Canadiens, who are looking to keep their season alive as they've won it back as they poke away at it just past the red line. It's Romano trying to chip it up, but unsuccessful in doing so. Getting it over the boards, it's carried in and played out by Armelin. Graziano back out to play with it. Valentini on the forecheck will hem in Malkassian. As they get to it, backhand shot by Caden Taylor, who's really looking to find the back of the net in this period. All the way at the other end now, it's sent down and gloved by Alexander Armelin.
Well, for the Senators here, they need to keep being aggressive. You can't sit back on a one-goal lead against the Toronto Junior Canadiens, and they've done that so far in the first 30-odd seconds of this period. Playing in the offensive zone is going to be the best way for the Senators to hang on to this and carry the lead and take it to the final here.
Offensive zone draw for the Sens, and it's Toronto getting to it first, but they're forced back in their own zone. Ryder Graves jumping up into the rush will send it back for Costello. Costello dropping to the inner slot, trying to get a shot on goal, rebound, and Armelin makes the sprawling save.
Well, remember that save from Alexander Armelin, just again coming up huge at a big moment here. The Senators looking really sharp to start this third period, and the Junior Canadiens are going to be relying on Armelin to weather the storm.
And here's Mississauga again, pretty much all of their time spent in the offensive zone to begin this period. And Manza unable to get the shot through far range. Ryder Graves, gun goal. Costello unable to bang it home. Hongu weighing off the boards. We'll send that up the ice. It's O'Brien there, one able to get to it as it's banked out by Graves at the other end as they try to transport it out. And it's a turnover though at the other way. It's shot Manza, and it's turned aside by Armelin again. Another chance was brought on goal by Connors as it's into the corner now. Connors will go for a change as Days enters the ice. Here is Jake O'Brien feeding it to the middle. It's a glove stop by Ivan Kovic.
Well, now the Junior Canadiens get their first shot of this third period, and they're going to need to try and use this offensive zone draw, get things set up, try and feed Jake O'Brien the puck, I think is their best bet here, and get this game back on even terms. They've got a little over 13 minutes to work with.
It'll be an offensive zone face-off now for the Toronto Junior Canadiens. Romano will get himself to shooting position. Martel will take the draw. Graziano pairing on the ice as they try to keep their season alive. Going after it there, it's held in by Graziano. Along the boards from Malkassian. He'll battle for it with Connors. Made some assistance there from Romano. All the way down. Here's Graziano with it. Winding up for the slapper! And it's still loose behind the goal as they go after it. And the whistle will finally blow.
There's a penalty here against Mississauga here. I think behind the net. It's an interference call. And it looks like it's going to be going against Gabe Trozo here. So this is a big opportunity now. The Junior Canadiens lethal power play. 1 for 2 on the night. And they'll look to try and capitalize once again.
And let's see what will happen. It's O'Brien taking the face-off. Out there with Yanni and Romano. Malkassian as well. As the Sens clearing it off the draw. And out to play it is Armelin. They'll try to transport it up quickly. As they get to it here, here's Graziano now. He'll start the entry. Over to Romano. Couldn't retrieve the puck cleanly, but it goes all the way down the ice, and it'll have to be gloved down by Ivan Kovic, so it will be an offensive zone faceoff for Mississauga. As the arm's up in the air, and here's the faceoff. As we are underway once again. Getting to it there as they drive it down low. Back over to Graziano. Trying to feed it for Romano. Cross-ice feed to Jake O'Brien. Finding Graziano. Far range shots! And it just goes wide. Here's Romano with it now. Switching places. Here's Romano with it. Trying to find an option in front of the net. Nothing there. Graziano now. Back over to Romano. Luca Romano. Getting down low from Malkassian. And it just goes over the stick of O'Brien on the pass attempt. And there's Romano now. Trying to feed that over to Yanni. Poking away at it. Trying to find possession. Player down on the ice. But no call made. And they'll have to get it out. Out to play it. Armelin. Had to be careful there with Valentini in all alone. But here's O'Brien now trying to burst into the offensive zone. And it's held along the blue line by Graziano. Romano with it now. Look at Romano. Stops up back to Graziano. Graziano will take the shot! Off the pad, there's a rebound in front! And here's Graziano. Once again, the Romano, he takes the slap shot and another rebound again. Ivan Kovic standing tall. Graziano finds Jake O'Brien with the shot! And it just falls short. But they maintain the offensive zone. Yanni back over to Romano. Romano trying to get that in front. Rebound in front! They score! They score! Jake O'Brien!
And Jake O'Brien right on cue once again. Another clutch goal for the Toronto Junior Canadiens. A loose puck that he finds in the slot. A scramble right in the crease. And he bangs it home. And just like that, the Junior Canadiens have equalized here. And with 11:09 to go, this is a whole new hockey game. And we'll have to see how the Senators can respond here. One of the biggest moments of the GTHL season thus far.
11:09 to play. All even up at 2. Game 5. Let's see who can step up at Scotiabank Pond. It's won back by Toronto, trying to capitalize on momentum. To the corner there. A backhand feed. A rebound in front. And Ivan Kovic makes the save. It's sent in down low by Valeris. Back over to Wang. Wang along the boards now, trying to feed it through and get inside positioning, but it's brought back out into the neutral zone. With it, there is Wang defensively, and they'll start the breakout. He's forced back though. So we'll see a line change now from Toronto. And it's the Romano line back on the ice. Taylor unable to intercept that. It's Martel. Martel with a burst of speed! And there was a shot there that just hit iron. Now here's Taylor taken down by 2 junior Canadiens. As the physicality really starts to show in the third period. In the defensive end, it's a turnover generated by the Sens. As they maintain the blue line, Taylor will force it in, but Toronto's able to get it out. It's Valeris back. He'll just send it up the ice, and it glazes off the blocker of Ivan Kovic. Trying to get to it now. It's another attempted body check there by Armstrong. Some noise being made and shoves being had.
Yeah, more chippiness developing after the whistle here, and both teams, you want to be very careful now. You're in the third period of a tied game in a do-or-die game in the GTHL playoffs, and nobody wants to be the one to make a mistake, so you got to keep your head in these moments, and it looks like everyone has. No penalty to come.
Face-off won by Toronto in their own end as they look to break it out. Trying to skate past the red line, and they do. It's sent along the boards by Armstrong. Going after it is Romano now. As they look to maintain the offensive zone, and they do. Trying to get that through now. It's Yanni with it. Chase Yanni. Far side shot, just falling short on that attempt, but it's picked up by Romano. Romano will stop up now. Has some space to work with. Luca Romano down low for Yanni. Getting some support from Ginman. It's Mississauga now on the counter-attack. Trying to reestablish the pace and momentum of this game. But here is Toronto, though, with a burst of speed through the neutral zone. Here's Armstrong sending it back. Malkassian down for Armstrong in front! And Martel is denied by Ivan Kovic. A nice breakout from Toronto. But here they go once again. It's Mississauga now. Trying to send it up. It's redirected in by Manza. Graziano now below the goal line. We'll send that in. It's the O'Brien line on the ice. Starting off that rush is Yanni to Malkassian. Here is O'Brien on the far side. Trying to feint that through. It's loose in front. They broke away with it. They score! They've done it! Chase Yanni!
And Chase Yanni, with his second of the game, has given the Toronto Junior Canadiens the lead here. And again, it's just a scramble in the slot, a loose puck, and the Junior Canadiens are the first ones on it. Yanni gets to the puck, jams it home in the scramble, and just like that, we're just a couple minutes removed from the Sens being up by 1, and now the Junior Canadiens have the lead again, and the dynamic of this game has shifted completely here.
And is there a player that stepped up more in a big way than Chase Yanni, Jaden?
Well, Yanni, another huge performance. He's got another multi-goal game in this series, and he's been a huge part of the Junior Canadiens' success here. Now the Senators, with their backs against the wall, have to respond.
We'll see what happens now as they send it into the offensive zone. The Caden Taylor line on the ice. They battle away for it down low now as it's sent into the corner. Toronto keeping it in play there as they try to get it out. Martel up the boards. Over the stick in a burst of speed. Here's Romano with it. Luca Romano! And he's denied there. Wasn't unable to get the shot through, but number 22 not done with some offense yet. Caden Taylor, far range shot. Just off the stick of Levine, and it's redirected into the corner. Toronto trying to escape there, but unable to get past Valentini. But this time, on the second attempt, they're unable to do so again. So they're forced back. Trying to get to it there is Martel. Hector Martel past the red line will dump it in and start the line change for Toronto. Some new recruits out from Mississauga as well. As they try to get it up, and it's O'Brien back on the ice. O'Brien will send that in along the boards. It's brought out. Here are the Sens on the counterattack with just under 7 minutes to go in the third period of Game 5. Ryder Graves will Send that in now as they go after it. Costello down low for Maggiani. Trying to find an open seam, but Toronto really closing the gaps, not giving them anything to work with. Back the other way now, it's Malkassian trying to get after it. Getting some help from O'Brien, but just skated past it. And here are the Sens now on the breakout. It is Broussard trying to feed that back, but just having difficulty getting past this junior Canadiens blue line. And trying to break it through there was Valentini, but just unable to do so. Along the boards now, it's Graziano. All the way down to the other end of the ice. As Trozo gets to it. Period starting to move fast. Time winding down for Mississauga. And with it here, there is Long just overskated it. As it's brought back along the boards for Trozo. And Jaden, if you were the Mississauga Senators, when do you have to start considering a goaltender pull situation?
Well, you got to be patient with that, I think. Trust your stars to get you back into this game. But if you do get into that last 2 minutes, minute and a half, that's when I start thinking of calling Ivan Kovic to the bench. But right now, you're only 1 goal down. You don't need to take any unnecessary risks that might lose you the game.
Here is Luca Bonomo now in his own end. 5:24 to go. And through the offensive zone, blue line out to play it, Armelin! We know he's not afraid to do that, and Toronto does get it out. Here's Muszynski on the ice for the Sens. We'll send a far-range shot now for Broussard. Broussard with a trailing Costello, just unable to get to it. All the way down at the other end now, it's Connors having to desperately get back to it. And he does. Connors there. Took a hit to make the play, and it's all the way down now. Armelin out for it. He'll send that in. McLean will get that over. Bounced over the stick, and Manta capitalizes on it. It's down low. Costello in pursuit, taken down hard there by a junior Canadian. As they battle away for it. Here is Toronto. Through the red line now. Tried to feed it to Malkassian, but was just too far. They don't mind that. They try to keep it as low a vent as possible. Here is Muszynski jumping up into the rush. As a defenseman tries to make a play. Mississauga just having so much difficulty generating traffic in the inner slot. Here is Wang with it. Hongyu Wang! Off the blocker, another chance there. Here is Wang, another one! And it just goes off the mask of Ivan Kovic. Wayne gets to it again. Another shot. Went off the shin pad of Manza as they try to get it up the ice. Less than 4 to go now in this third period. And desperation ensues for the Sens. It's a cross-ice feed now the other way with Caden Taylor on the ice. Breer Lung, though, had it stripped off him. And this time, it'll be an icing called against Toronto.
Well, 3:34 now to go for the Senators. That's all they have left in their season as it stands. So you certainly start to see desperation setting in here for Caden Taylor and his squad. And I think we're probably just 1 to 2 minutes away from seeing Jack Ivankovic head to the bench for the extra man.
For Mississauga, they're hoping it doesn't even get to that point and they can get a goal in quick succession, but here is Malkassian on the counter-attack, driving to the middle, over to O'Brien! And that just goes off the pad of Ivan Kovic and out, but on the counter-attack it ensues. At the other end, trying to feed that back to Trozo, unable to do so. And it's the junior Canadiens getting it up the ice, killing valuable time. Just skating right through Taylor, and it's Yanni who's doubled down already in this game, out there comfortably. They rely on him in these critical situations. At their own end, now here is Jaden Connors with a burst of speed. Jumping up the ice, Trozo. Gabe Trozo to the middle! Unable to find Rafek Dianov in the slot. But it's Trozo. Just showcasing how the defensemen on this Mississauga team are not afraid in transition. They just skate it up themselves and try to feed it up to the forward in front of the net.
That speed has been so effective for these Senators so far in this series, just trying to create space with the skating and create open looks and open lanes. And now 2:34 to go, icing against Toronto here, and another offensive zone chance. Mississauga to try to stave their season.
Costello after it on the draw, trying to get to it, but they fall short. It is Martel now able to clear it once again. Jaden Connors in his own end, trying to get that through to Costello as they'll begin the breakout. Drop back to Broussard, over to Costello in front as it's wrapped around the boards, and at the far side now it's brought back out by Toronto. And certainly we're getting close to the time where the Sens will have to consider pulling the goalie as an icing is called.
Now 2:06 to go, and definitely a time to start keeping an eye on Ivan Kovic here. As the Junior Canadiens just happy to hold down the fort in their own zone at this point, clear the puck as quick as they can, and try to secure their spot in the final here.
You know they're going to be trying to get the puck to Caden Taylor at all costs as it's scrambled back and gloved down by Ermelin.
So we'll reset here, 2:01 now. The Junior Canadiens kill off a little bit more time on that clock. And Caden Taylor will be the focal point of both the Junior Canadiens and the Sens here, as he'll be the man.
And it's brought back out, and Taylor in his own end now will feed it over to Connors. With it there the other way, trying to get to it. Valentini will dump it in, and it goes way too high, as that's out of play.
And now 1:48 to go. So the Junior Canadiens again just chewing a little bit more time off that clock, and this time it's going to have to come all the way back towards the Sens zone, and that's a benefit for Toronto now.
And it'll be Romano now taking the face-off for Toronto as it's won back by Valentini. Certainly they're going to have to consider pulling the goaltender now. With it there at the other end, it's Long with it. And they have pulled the goalie. Mississauga with the extra attacker. Connors with the shot, trying to get to it. Back over to Graves. Ryder Graves takes it up. It's an empty net. The other way. Martel scores! And that will do it. Hector Martel gives Toronto the 2-goal lead.
And it's just a little bit of a bad bounce for Ryder Graves at the blue line. He can't hold it in. And Hector Martel, just good pressure, a good read to get onto that puck. And now the Junior Canadiens can taste the GTHL final. A minute 22 away. And for the Sens, they can taste the bitter taste of defeat. After such a tight, hard-fought series, it's not over yet, but it's starting to become all the more palpable for both of these teams.
For Mississauga, they're desperate. If they can get one more goal, perhaps there is some light at the end of the tunnel, but we'll have to see. They scramble for it there down low. Costello in pursuit, and he wins the puck, being challenged by O'Brien as it's brought back to the other end.
Empty net again here.
And with it, another long-range shot just through traffic, and it's wide. Along the boards now, Valentini's in front, creating havoc as they're unable to get to it once again. Just trying to put it in front, but the bodies of Toronto are just too much. Over the line, players shoving, look out, and all chaos has ensued. The goalie's in it. Oh my goodness!
And once again, things starting to get out of hand here. The frustration of the Senators clearly coming into focus, and chaos in front of the net, as you said, Jordan, and they finally start to separate, and we'll see what all comes of this.
And we've seen the tempers flare throughout this entire series, and Mississauga had some momentum there, but this is certainly going to break things up now, as it really does seem like the Toronto Junior Canadiens are poised to head to the GTHL final. And I remind you to stay tuned, as we'll see the result of the Toronto series, who will be heading to be their potential opponent as well.
Well, that will be right after this. The Marlboros and the Rebels going head-to-head in their Game 5. As as we have some discussion here, try and sort out the penalties. This feels like a familiar sight, doesn't it, Jordan?
It certainly does. It seems like almost every game, aside from Game 1, was like this in terms of the final minute, not knowing what the calls were going to be. And some of those games, especially day 2, when they were just winding down the clock and just pretty much letting it play out. You can't really do that here in an elimination game that's only 2 goals, but momentum's certainly been broken up now for the Sens. They really had seemed like they were starting to find a groove, and it really just shows you a series can really hang on the balance of one bounce. Ryder Graves couldn't keep it in the offensive blue line. It's Hector Martel coming back and was able to win the foot race and pot the empty net goal.
And even going back to the other goals that the Junior Canadiens managed to pot in this period, just pucks that bounced to their sticks in front of the net, and the Senators weren't able to get to them. And ultimately, it's a game of inches, hockey, and for the Senators, they're on the wrong side of the coin in this series. The Junior Canadiens will feel they earned it, and certainly both teams feel they deserved a shot at the GTHL championship, but only one can get it. 43.6 seconds to go, and it looks like the Senators will be shorthanded for the remainder of this game, and quite a long discussion here among the officials about who is going to go to the box, and it appears they still haven't sorted it all out.
So the Junior Canadiens players are heading towards the offense. Everyone's back on the ice now. We'll conclude this game.
Oh.
And some more shoving going on. Graziano having some conversations now. Heading towards the bench. And they got to be careful. The refs need to manage this. This is not what you want to see. I think Graziano's getting kicked out for the remainder of this game. Maybe we'll be out for the handshake line. Certainly some conversations being had, but let's finish this series. Romano wins it back to Armstrong. We'll find Valeris. Valeris back over to Armstrong. We'll feed it to Romano. He'll turn back now. And here's Armstrong with it, just sort of passing it around at this point. Cross-ice feed, just unsuccessful, but Romano picks it up. Along the half wall now, they poke away at it. And it's Romano again, going after it. This time some assistance from Valeris, taken down. And we are just 10 seconds to go. Another fight! Breaking out behind the play! They gotta separate them! As this game just seems to not want to conclude.
Once again, I'm not sure what started this, but two players just grabbing each other just in front of the penalty box there, and 10.6 seconds to go. Things have really heated up here, and Ethan Armstrong is going to be removed from the game.
And just 10.6 seconds left on the clock as the referees are having some discussions. As we are poised for the final result. Players will get back on the ice, presumably just for one more face-off. That should do it. Will be taken back in the Senators' zone. And that will do it. The Toronto Junior Canadiens will play in the GTHL final after a 4-2 victory over the Mississauga Senators.
And what a series, back and forth. Both teams just absolute giants in this series, and ultimately only one could win, and it was the Toronto Junior Canadiens pulling off the victory, coming back from behind in the third period. And it's heartbreak on one end, as it always is at the end of a playoff series, and it will be the Toronto Junior Canadiens against either the Toronto Marlboros or the Mississauga Rebels in the GTHL final.
Well, for Jaden Ho, this is Jordan Jacklin, and we thank you for viewing our coverage thus far on the Six Hockey YouTube channel, and make sure to stay tuned as we will be covering the GTHL final exclusively on the Six Hockey YouTube channel. Stay tuned for that.